Hey everyone, how's it going? Empress Justice, aka Fabian Deacon here. There's still not going to be any more daily readings until Sunday because I'm getting the March readings done and I'm just getting the last of the notes together. Apparently, as well as Russia attacking the Ukraine at this very moment, which has led to the economy into going just into complete meltdown. Apparently China have had their eyes on Taiwan for quite some time, and Taiwan is they're not a part of NATO, but they are a non-NATO ally, which means they are an ally of the US, the UK, and anybody else who belongs to NATO. So if China decide to attack Taiwan, it's going to be very obvious from there what side they're on. And if China attack, I know what people have been saying in my comments. I've got some very educated people on the war. And honestly, I don't want to discount what these very educated people are saying in my comments, but it's just, if China decides to attack an ally of ours, even if that ally is non-NATO, then that's making a very definitive decision at that point. And you have to remember, we rely on China for most of our industry. China is one of the leading countries on the planet in terms of economics. The West has been dying for quite some time. I mean, it's strategic. It's been organized that way. But the West has been dying for quite some time right now. And the new steward of white supremacy is going to be the East. I don't see the so-called West winning this one. I think at most we might have a draw or something, but yeah, it's not looking good. I mean, the amount of shit that's happened, the amount of air travel that's been banned, and oh my God, like everything is just a complete mess. The truth of the matter is, right, is that I don't have a dog in this fight. The Ukraine has apparently been a stronghold for violent white supremacy. But at the same time, Russia is anti-black too. So I don't have a dog in this fight. But what I will say is this. It doesn't seem to me that, Russia has the largest stockpile of nuclear weapons. This is true. But I honestly don't think Putin wants to use any of them. Like, okay, he's a gangster, right? Obviously a gangster. He is not a good man, okay? But I think he's a smart man, and I think that he's thinking of the long term. And I think, if anything, he probably wants to avoid a global conflict. I think, if anything, he probably wants to avoid this from escalating any further. But then you're going to ask me, well, Fabian, why did he invade in the first place? Well, again, it's about resources. And the US are protecting the Ukraine for the same reason. It's about resources. You mean to tell me I'm supposed to trust the same country that not only is protecting a violent white supremacist stronghold, a Nazi, a white supremacist stronghold? You mean to tell me that the same country that's protecting this stronghold, and then also on top of that has been hiring Nazi doctors since the 1940s at least, when World War II is over? You seriously expect me to think these same people are going to tell everyone the truth about why Putin's doing what he's doing? I don't trust any of these motherfuckers. I don't trust any of them. I'm making uneducated guesses, but I really don't think Putin wants to take this shit global. I don't think he wants to do that. In fact, I think, there was at one point he was doing a press conference and he warned everybody that what Western governments wanted was just to completely obliterate the planet. He warned us that that was going on. And at the time, I thought he was just putting on a performance. I thought he was just putting on. And the thing is, he's a KGB spy. For all I know, he could have been. He was an ex-KGB officer. For all I know, he could have been putting on an act. But he warned us years ago that that's what the Western government was planning to do. He warned us that years ago. So I don't think that he wants a global standoff. I don't think that's what he wants. But it's like, either that man's caught between a rock and a hard place, and he's been forced to villainize himself to save his country, or it's about resources, like I said before, and he's trying to get to the resources before the US do. I think that's what this is about. I don't think this is about any separatist politics. I think that's just like the crack in the wall to kind of push through. I don't think that's the real reason that Putin's going to war in the Ukraine right now. He could level that country in 25 minutes. If he wanted to. He could really level that country in 25 minutes if he was really serious. But war is not what this is about. Politics is not what this is about. It's about resources. But I really don't think that he wants like nuclear winter for the entire planet. I don't think that's what he wants. Because he's fucking smart. He's not going to want that. But this is a mess, bro. The whole time I hated Donald Trump, and don't get me wrong, I still do. I think he's a piece of shit. I really do. I really don't like him. I think he's a coward. I think he's a white supremacist, racist piece of shit. I don't like him. But the whole time everybody was talking about him being a traitor to the US, and that Putin was, invading everything. The whole time he was being painted as a traitor to the US and a traitor to the Western world. Turns out Trump was preserving the peace the whole time. Or Ivanka Trump was preserving the peace, because most likely she was behind those decisions. Turns out that those fucking racist motherfuckers who can't dress worth a shit, turns out they were keeping the peace this whole time, and everybody was calling them traitors. I can't believe this is even coming out of my mouth. But all of this is strategic. And if people think it's not strategic, you're naive. You mean to tell me the same side as Black Lives Matter and Antifa and, people trying to fight for some level of social justice, you mean to tell me those people have been deliberately misled into siding against Russia and against China in a potential world war? Like, it's not by accident. It's not by accident. None of this is by accident. So racial justice has been taken a step backwards due to our alignments being manipulated inevitably towards a war effort. And it's like we didn't even see it coming. We didn't even see that. We had a white supremacist who was basically preserving peace for everyone. An open white supremacist at that. An open white supremacist defending fucking Nazis. Was preserving the peace the whole time. We had no idea. And now Joe Biden's flip-flopping ass like, oh. The whole time the real Antichrist was never Obama. Obama was too populist. Obama was too populist to pull any of this off. Trump was too populist to pull any of this off. The real Antichrist was Biden the whole fucking time. And nobody noticed. This whole thing is just, I don't even know what's going to happen. But I think war is a lot more complicated than we want it to be. We want it to be simple. We want it to be a case of good guys versus bad guys. And unfortunately, as human beings are really fucking complex and messy, war is the same way. It's really complex. It's really messy. There are no clear good guys or bad guys. We're all bad guys in varying degrees. There is no hero in this. This is not a Hollywood story. This is fucking war. And war is usually originated in order to annex resources and annex land. And people siding with the Ukraine. I stand with the Ukraine, like, and the Ukraine is like got a violent white supremacist stronghold there. Like, I stand with Ukraine. And then there are other people who are turning around standing with Russia. And Russia's not only anti-black, but it's like the way they run their country, and you're siding with them. Like, people need a hero and a villain so fucking bad. There are no heroes or villains in this. You're talking about old rich white men who are basically fighting over resources and territory that are getting increasingly scarce because of our own wastefulness. That's what this shit is about. There are no good guys here. People need to stop looking for a good guy and start thinking, you know what? When the bombs fucking drop, where am I going to be? That's what people need to be thinking about. Our heartstrings have been tugged on with distraction after distraction. We need to be thinking about, where am I going to be when the bombs drop? That's what we need to be thinking about. We don't need to be thinking about no fucking trying to choose a hero or a villain or going out protesting and shit. People are dying. And this is just the beginning. People have been dying. Like, this whole World War III situation, this has actually started since Syria. It started since Syria. It started like long before the Ukraine had anything to do with it. This has been starting since Syria. Look it up if you don't believe me. It started since Syria. That's when it started. It didn't start with the fucking Ukraine. The Ukraine is just... The Ukraine is just the straw that broke the camel's back. War was inevitable. This is going to be an almighty shit show. An almighty shit show. But anyway, I'm right on the coast. So how that turns out is going to be interesting. Oh, God. Yeah. We need to be thinking about how we're going to survive. We don't need to be trying to figure out who's a hero and who's a villain right now. We're long past that. But anyway, I gotta go. Take care. I love you, my fellow TIs. You guys have been knowing what's going on. You've been seeing everything. Let's see what happens next. I love you guys. Take care. Bye-bye.